What is up, you guys? It's NFL Central here with another video, and today we'll be ranking the top 40 QBs in the NFL. The rankings are based on this upcoming seasons. Our four analysts did the rankings, and all of their rankings were averaged out. So make sure you drop a like and subscribe. We are a new YouTube channel, and we'll have all the NFL news here. So as we get into the list, we have number 4 Mitchell Trubisky, number 39 Andy Dalton, number 38 Teddy Bridgewater, number 37 Drew Lock, number 36 Trey Lance, number 35 Marcus Mariota, number 34 we have Jordan Love, 33 we have Gardner Minshew, and number 32 we have Mac Jones, number 31 we have Tua Tagovailoa. Okay. So as we get into Mitchell Trubisky, he is a below average QB. He showed a bit of improvement throughout the season. He won't get a lot of playing time for the Bills, which places him lower, but if he ever gets the opportunity to play for the Bills this season, let's say Josh Allen gets hurt, he could be pretty solid. Number 39, we have Andy Dalton. He was an average QB on the high power offense. I get the offensive line was hurt for most of the season, but he still had Amari Cooper for most of the year, and Zeke. He will compete for Justin Fields, and I guess we can see how he does. I'm guessing Justin Fields will get the start around either mid-season, but don't be surprised if Justin Fields he starts at like the very end, like week 17. Number 37, Drew Lock. He had a sophomore slump last year. I'm guessing he will improve going into this year with his number one wide receiver on his team. His team also had a lot of drops throughout the year. In my opinion, when you watch him, he makes decent decisions. He might want to improve to lower the interception rate, but like I said, a lot of the interceptions actually came from drop passes. Jerry Jeudy, he wasn't horrible, but like he can't catch the ball that well last year, so that's how it goes. Number 36, Trey Lance. He's a strong arm QB prospect. I think I had him QB5. Other people on our team had him a lot higher. I'm low on Trey Lance, but he's a strong arm QB. He's quick. I don't know if his speed will translate into like a Lamar or Kyler. I mean, he probably won't. Best case scenario, his speed translates to like Cam Newton, let's say. Jimmy Garoppolo for most of the year, so and we'll see if he ever plays this year. I don't think it will be the right choice if the 49ers ever play him this year. I think if you want to get the Trey Lance max potential, you need him to like sit for a year or two. Number 35, Marcus Mariota. He was a good QB for the Titans. That he was really injury prone, but I mean the one game we saw like him on the Raiders this year, I thought was pretty solid. Number 34, we have Jordan Love. He is a strong arm QB. He gets to learn from one of the most talented quarterbacks of all time. He has a high upside, and we'll see if he plays this year. The only way he plays this year is if Aaron Rodgers requests a trade, which I guess it's kind of unlikely in my opinion, but in other people, they think Aaron Rodgers will get traded to like the Broncos, let's say. Number 33, we have Gardner Minshew. He improved a lot this year, but the team was really bad. He did not get benched because he was playing bad. He got benched because the team wanted to lose so they can get one of the best quarterback prospects in like the past 10 years. That's the reason why they tanked. A lot of people don't understand. They benched Gardner. A lot of people don't understand that. But number 32, we have Mac Jones. He's one of the most accurate quarterback prospects in the draft. I think he had the highest completion percentage maybe of all time for a starting QB in college. Don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure if I remember right. He was my QB3. He gets to learn from one of the best coaches of all time, and he should show a lot of good stuff in his rookie year, but like he might take a little bit of time. He's probably one of the most ready quarterback prospects in the draft. Number 31, Tua Tagovailoa. He had a mediocre rookie year, but I mean, if you look at his record as a rookie, it was better than Ryan Fitzpatrick, who we will have ahead of him. I think he was like 6-3. He had a mediocre rookie year. I think he can improve going into year 2, and he gained a lot of players this year, like getting Jalen Waddle, and I think Devontae Parker was also hurt a decent amount last year. As we get into the next list, we have 30 Ryan Fitzpatrick, 29 Cam Newton, 28 Justin Fields, 27 Sam Darnold, 26 Daniel Jones, 25 Jalen Hurts, 24 Jared Goff, 23 Jameis Winston, 22 Ben Roethlisberger, and 21 Zach Wilson. As we get into number 30, Ryan Fitzpatrick is an okay quarterback that played for the Dolphins, but the reason why he's not any higher is because he's very inconsistent. You never know what type of Ryan Fitzpatrick you have. Every single time he's been a main starter for a team, like he's a full-on starter, there's barely anyone contesting him. He always just bombs out. Like when he has no competition, he does horrible. And he's never he's never been in the playoffs before. And yeah, 29 we have Cam Newton. Cam Newton's a good quarterback for the Patriots. I feel like we haven't seen the max Cam Newton we can see on the Pats because his wide receivers were so bad. And his rushing stats are pretty good. If Cam Newton can unlock his passing ability again, he can probably be a top 20 quarterback again, which I guess sounds surprising to some people. And don't be surprised that the Patriots are in the playoffs. Number 28, we have Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a fast quarterback. He's one read, though. He has a lot of issues in his game, but don't think he will start week 1. I doubt it. I would say like a 30% chance he starts before like week 9, let's say. 27, we have Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's a boomer bust quarterback going into the year. I think he will probably not boom, but he does have a chance to boom because he had Adam Gase on the Jets. It's not a really good argument, but you can make the argument because Ryan Tannehill did good after leaving Gase. So I don't think he will do anything, but some other people think he will. 26, we have Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is an accurate quarterback. He is decently fast. His team improved a lot, which will probably cause him to also get better. He needs to fix his fumbling issues if he actually wants to break out, though. 25, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a fast quarterback. He's probably the biggest one-read quarterback in the league. If you watch him, he literally only throws to his first read almost every single time. He barely goes to the second read. Number 24, we have Jared Goff. He's a solid quarterback for the Rams. He is one of the best deep balls in the league. I think he's actually ranked at the top in deep balls a couple years ago. The Lions couldn't surprise people this year. I would not be surprised, but they would need to hope for DeAndre Swift or Brashad Perriman breakouts for that to happen. Number 32, Jameis Winston. Jameis is another boom or bust player. He is one of the best deep balls in the leagues, but he is learning behind Drew Brees. He learned behind Drew Brees, which I think he needed because Drew Brees is one of the most accurate and knows what he's doing quarterbacks of all time. I think he has a decent chance of breaking out this year. Big Ben is number 22. He is getting closer to the end of his career. He throws the ball really quick. I think he threw the ball one of the quickest times. He only throws short passes now, when back in the day he took a lot of risks. Number 21, Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson is my favorite quarterback prospect in the draft. He has one of the highest potentials in the draft. He has big play into him, like Aaron Rodgers type, Patrick Mahomes type. I won't say he will be that good, but I would not be surprised if he is that good. And he could end up being the best quarterback out of the draft. Number 20, Carson Wentz. Number 19, Jimmy Garoppolo. Number 18, Trevor Lawrence. Number 17, Joe Burrow. Number 16, Matt Ryan. Number 15, Derek Carr. Number 14, Kirk Cousins. Number 13, Ryan Tannehill. Number 12, Justin Herbert. Number 11, Baker Mayfield. Number 20, Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate a few years ago, but he probably was one of the worst quarterbacks starting last year, but you could blame that on all the injuries the Eagles had, bad coaching, and probably the worst wide receiver core in the league. He's getting a really good offensive line this year. The last time he was really good was when he had a good offensive line, and he has the same offensive coordinator as he had when he was an MVP candidate a couple of years ago. Number 19, we have the one and only Jimmy Garoppolo. And for Jimmy Garoppolo, he has one of the highest winning percentages ever. The 49ers are always bad when he does not play. As you can see, Kyle Shanahan's record without Jimmy Garoppolo is 7-27. With Jimmy Garoppolo, all I remember is they have a really dang good record with him. They have Jimmy G has started 2 seasons length, and his average stats are. The average season stats would average out to be 4,021 yards, 26 touchdowns, 13 INTs, 68%, and 12.5 wins per season. And I'm saying this because a lot of people will probably disagree with this, but this is another thing. If Jimmy G threw as many passes last year as Patrick Mahomes did this year, Jimmy G's stats would average out to be 4,982 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 16 INTs with 69%. And I think that's a pretty good numbers. I think Jimmy G is getting used wrong, which can cause him to look worse than he actually is. I think Jimmy G could do better this year. Number 18, we got Trevor Lawrence. All I gotta say about him is that most people say he's the best quarterback since Andrew Luck. Number 17, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow had one of the best college seasons of all time last year, or 2 years ago now. And he played decent last season with the Bengals. He probably would have finished 3rd in the Rookie of the Year race if he finished the season out. He can break out this year because now he has the wide receiver he had in college, Jamar Chase, which caused him to do really, really good. Number 16, we got Matt Ryan. He was one of the leaders in passing yards last year, but he's a very solid quarterback, but he's one of the more average quarterbacks you'll be able to find. Number 15, Derek Carr, solid quarterback, always is dominant at the start of the year. I would like to see him do well also at the end of the year. If he can figure out how to get good at the end of the year, the Raiders, he could become a top 10 quarterback or be MVP candidate like he was, I think, when he went 12-4 in 2017. Or he can keep doing mediocre at the end of the year, and the Raiders keep falling short of the playoffs, finishing 8-8. It's not always his fault because the Raiders are horrible at drafting. Number 14, we got Kirk Cousins. He's one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the league. He is very solid. He's a very accurate quarterback. It would be a big disappointment if the Vikings miss the playoffs this year, which I don't predict they will miss the playoffs. Number 13, we got Ryan Tannehill. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league, just like Kirk Cousins. Also one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the league. I ranked him higher. The rating for Ryan Tannehill went down because of the other members in our group. But yeah, the Titans just added Julio, and I would not be surprised if he somehow becomes an MVP candidate or is just a very good quarterback this year. Number 12, we got Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert had one of the best rookie seasons for a quarterback ever. I would probably say he has the best rookie quarterback season ever, but it's not that big of an accomplishment whenever like second place is Baker Mayfield. Um, he has a lot of potential. He proved the media wrong last year. I'd not be surprised if Justin Herbert somehow became an MVP candidate this year. Number 11, we got Baker Mayfield. He had a sophomore slump year too, but he did really well again this season. He is a monster, and the Browns have the potential of making the Super Bowl this year if he can play up to standard, which I would say is around like 4,200 yards, 30 something touchdowns with 10 or so interceptions. And as we get into the top 10, number 10, we have Matthew Stafford. He has a new team this year, and he was a very solid quarterback on the Lions. I think he will improve a lot going into a better team because on the Lions he had a pretty trash team. And I think he will improve a lot. Number 9, we have Kyler Murray, one of the fastest quarterbacks in the league. He is very dynamic. He's one of the best short passers in the league, but he's pretty mediocre when throwing the ball in the middle of the field. But he has a good deep ball. If they could get some good short and good offensive linemen, I think the Cardinals are set. They have Rodney Hudson, which will improve the Cardinals a lot. And number 8, we have Lamar Jackson, an MVP a year ago, one of the fastest quarterbacks in the league. He has some of the best rushing stats of all the time already in like 3 years. And his rushing ability is something we've never seen really from the quarterback position since like Michael Vick, and I don't even know if Michael Vick can do it as good as Lamar. Number 7, we got Dak Prescott. All I'm gonna say is Dak Prescott was projected to throw for nearly 6,000 yards if he stayed healthy. Of course he didn't. He got injured, and I think he will I think he will fall off a tiny bit, but he won't fall off. But he might not be top 7 next year, let's say. And I would project like top 12. Number 6, we have Deshaun Watson. He led the league in passing yards, but he might not play this year due to his thing going on. Hopefully it's all fake because I love Deshaun Watson. He's very dynamic, and him in the playoffs against the Bills a year ago. That's pretty nice. Number 5, Russell Wilson. He was an MVP favorite the first half of the season. The team started figuring him out to blitz him, and he kind of fell out of the MVP race. I'd still say he was like top 6, top 7 in the MVP race, but it fell off a tiny bit. Number 4, we got Josh Allen, the breakout player of the year last year. He's the strongest arm in the league. He's improved in accuracy every year. If he could be top 3 if he somehow gets better or keeps his production the same. Number 3, we got the GOAT, Tom Brady. Very underrated season last year and one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league. He won the Super Bowl last season, and I mean, is it a really surprise they won the Super Bowl last year? He always wins it almost every year. I wouldn't even be surprised if he won it this year. He can play until he's 50. I don't care. Number 2, we got Aaron Rodgers, won MVP last season. A very accurate, one of the best deep balls in the league, and probably the most talented quarterback of all time. He does have a chance to leave the Packers this year, and if I had to predict where he would go if he left the Packers this year, I would probably say the Broncos. Number 1, we got Patrick Mahomes. He was third in MVP last year. I would have had him second over Josh Allen, but yeah, he was third in MVP last year. He made the Super Bowl, and probably the best 25-year-old quarterback ever. I mean, is it really surprising having him one? He'll probably be one for the next 10 years, let's be honest. Um, he won the Super Bowl a year ago, and he made the Super Bowl this year. He looks like he has a very bright future ahead, and I hope everything but the best for Patrick Mahomes. And that will be the end of the video, guys. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe. This is our first video on our YouTube channel, so yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and we are out.